Having said that, Deputy Minister, the macro conditions themselves are critical in this kind of space. You know, so as you say, it's not a siloed approach. It is really very important that the work that you're doing is actually sowing into fertile ground. How do you marry the reality of the economy growing at between 0.6 and 0.8 and less than 1.5% over the last 10 years or so? How do you marry that with the interventions that you plan to be able to bring to bear?
Look, I think the most important thing is dealing with what we have as a series of disconnected projects in the country. You've got mega projects, you've got, short-term projects, you've got entrepreneurships. To deal with our economy, you have to look at what are some of these systematic barriers that many people face, many young South Africans face, including what we speak to in terms of the issue of facilitating a smooth transition from education to the world of work, to entrepreneurship, to self-independent. But all of these things must be grounded with best practices and the context that also speaks to us as South Africans. But that on its own, it speaks to moving policy. The steps around policies must be in a practicalized manner, but also resourcing, including partnership that dismantle those very same barriers. And how most important, which is something that we've prioritized in this 7th administration, is the issue of creating sustainable change. We cannot accept that when you look at the labor forces, survey that was released, we continue to lose jobs. But when you then pay attention, which sectors are these? Why are we losing jobs, and what are these systematic challenges that we constantly have to deal with? So the economy has to be aware that you need to invest in women's open access to markets, access to inclusion, financial inclusion, but all others. That is also speaking to youth, that speaks to general public, including vulnerable groups such as people with disability. So we have to deal with the issues that we are confronted with. But the biggest challenge that we are faced with is this unemployment rate that we have that is very stubborn, and the absence of jobs. We've got a good enabled ecosystem, but we have to make sure that we unlock the opportunities. They must be accessible to South Africans.